Hi, I'm Smolecule, and today we have an early look at Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. This launches to the public on January 31st, but we'll be playing the first 2 hours of the game so you can get a feel for what's ahead. We'll step into the malfunctioning body of a sleeper, escape, and on the run. This RPG uses a clever dice action management system, so you can feel that tension for survival in real time. The first game in this universe released in 2022, and I have been so excited to see more from the developer since then. Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is a standalone story, so don't worry about playing the original first, though I will encourage you to play both. With that said, let's go. Okay, let us start a new game. We're gonna go ahead and go with the intended difficulty, which is risky, already selected for us here. And because I have some previous experience with kind of how things work and the kinds of classes that I was most comfortable with originally, we are probably gonna go for an operator. I think mostly because I enjoy the interfacing dialogue, and we'll get to that. Don't worry if you don't know anything I'm talking about. Again, this is just from my previous experience with the first Citizen Sleeper game, so we're just gonna go with operator this time. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives: the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away, their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That's what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creator's SNARP in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes in a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, the one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, a sharp smirk, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters, This object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you now, after what you've done to this body of yours. He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try and understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free. You're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you've ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. You'll try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I'll burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops the cable from around your wrist. Sleeper? Help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you're out in all that darkness, or in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember the station runs hot, something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city. Growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his glare. comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot, he's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process, and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to get going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you're led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond, that moment the residue of panic, of fear remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait, your guide holds up a hand. You stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor. Both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you, to break your dependence on Stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I've got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads, he bellows into the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they were guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Okay, we've got our first skill check here. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you'll encounter later, skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you'll succeed on a check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. And you can see more info in the guide section of the pause menu. Okay, let's check that out. And then we can also check out our options really quick as well. Okay. Skill checks. Okay, so you can remind yourself on how they work. And then, of course, all these other things that we'll run into later. Let's just double check our settings here. Oh, we can make the text larger. Okay, let's do that really quick. And then the rest seems good. For now, let's just bump this down one. All right. Okay. So I am particularly good at interfacing, I think. Yeah, and so you can see here, if I hover over this, this is a half and half chance of positive or neutral. And then this one has a 50-50 neutral to negative. So very clearly we're gonna go and pick this one. Hack the door. Okay, that was positive. Great. You shift to the control panel, your fingers dancing across the keys. Without thinking, you access the maintenance layer and trigger a fire safety venting procedure. The panel drones out a klaxon, and the door pops open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphine flies past you, through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the 2 guards approaching fast across the docks, and quickly glide after Seraphine. Seraphine is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open, and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphine grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons, as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphine slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphine burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphine breaks the silence. We're good, Sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. We certainly did. He turns and you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Have you said this exact thing to him before, in this same situation? Are you okay? He looks at you, chewing one side of his lip. Searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphine reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize it's just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphine kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan, he glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly, he sighs. We need to talk. Seraphine furrows his brow. Not now, Sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than... He pauses again, unsure. Us. He sighs. We need to survive this thing first. Then maybe we talk. That isn't fair. Seraphine's eyes flash. What isn't fair, Sleeper, is that I just gave up everything for someone who can barely remember my name. He tenses at his own unexpected anger. We are not doing this. He slams the metal of the cockpit wall. Not now. He closes his eyes and looks down. Just let me think. He fixes you with a stare. I need to think. We've bought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. There are plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides toward the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So, we need to refuel. That won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, Sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. You, he glances over his shoulder, you keep out of trouble. I can handle myself. Seraphine stops at the airlock. Look, Sleeper, you want yourself, he sighs. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into his sleeve. I don't want you passing out and... He stops. It'll take both of us, Seraphine sighs. I hate it when you're right. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. I'm just gonna stay silent. Seraphin stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open, and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what clearly is a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing, we meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you the one last look. Maybe you find yourself to something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryochits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies, he grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station, for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, all right? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he's gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. Let's make a plan. You try to think ahead to what might be coming. You'll need work, that's the first step, but what then? Lane will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, and run. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. We have choices now. Yeah! Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. The game runs in cycles during which you can perform actions with your dice, which we have up here. Use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guide section of the pause menu. Okay. And we can mouse wheel around. Very cool. Okay, so these little flashing things show us some things that we could check out that are relatively new. So let's look at this. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you'll succeed in action. But your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right and will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcomes it has. The more dangerous an action is, the more significant both its rewards and consequences are. Okay. So we need more money. Let's see what we got here. We've got 24 cryo, no fuel, and not enough supplies. So let's see. And it looks like I've got a few bars of this is sort of like a health bar up here. So kind of running out of steam. So this is sort of like chat to the crews to get some info. This is pretty dangerous over here, exploring the docks. And then either of these will help me add more to this little pie bit here for Hexport connections. Let's see. And you can tell you can also use controllers. So if you like playing games with controller, it does have options for that with this, you can see the Y and the B up here. I'm using mouse, it's just more easier for me. Let's see. So I'm much better at impressing the brokers. Data brokers, talk the talk. Okay. This might be a good one. Let me remember, so that's an interface check. This one, I'm pretty neutral on these. So I think we're gonna go and, let's do this one. Impress the brokers. Let's use some of our stronger dice. I'm gonna use this one. Yeah, but this is 100% positive, so we're gonna get what we need out of this, even though it says risky. Okay, you just, oh, see, this is the clock. Clocks track your progress towards positive and negative events. Okay, cool. You intervene when two brokers struggle to unpick a Senate stat cache and expertly unpick its security protocols. They're impressed. Cool. Okay. I could just do it again. Because that would get me this full... Let's just do it. Alright, so the clock's done. You've established a presence here, and the brokers seem to be a little more comfortable around here. Okay, cool. So that's done, and then the exchange buzzes with the conversation of commerce. This is the place where contracts are found. You just need to look. Okay, so we'll just wait on what happens when that clock's done. Oh, new location? Oh, there's a bunch over here. Okay, what's this? Trade hall. Ah, so you put in the monies and you get the stuffs. Okay, great. We still don't really have enough money for all of this, so maybe we can come back. And then what's this? Canteen. You can eat in exchange for cryo. Okay. So here's our energy level up here. Our Seraphim did say we should eat something, so why don't we do that? Cool. The export trade hall makes fragrant stews sucked through a straw. They're heavy and warming. Alright. I still have 3 more dice up here. So... they're not very strong, though. This is risky. What happens if I put a 2 here? Positive... oh, negative to neutral. And I hate this because it's like, I don't want to end the day with having done nothing. What's this? You can quickly visit and leave the rig. The rig is your ship and home in the Starward Belt. While the rig is stocked at a hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks to reduce stress, and then galley by using supplies to get energy. Okay. While the rig isn't docked at a hub, your crew will also help with gather resources to contribute to the upkeep. You can choose which resources they should focus on in the crew task. Okay, so when we do get crew, we can do more of that stuff. Okay. And it also has a cycle clock. Oh, so this is how much time we have before the whole lane thing goes down. Let's see here. Ah, so I can turn supplies into energy there. And then I could recover. Wait, is that... Okie dokie. Ah, and we can end our cycle here. Okay. I don't want to do that just yet. Let's go. Whoa! Okay, the world is bigger. The belt is unavailable, but it could be available someday. It's exciting. What's this? I'm just pushing everything. Rig. Okay. Just trying to see. Oh, and this is where you can check out your character again. And upgrade skills. Oh. Improve the skill modifier applied to your dice. Upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. Oh, that's what that push was. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active at once. Okay. Neat. Oops, I don't have anything. I just pushed it. No damage. Oh, there we go. 0 points. Understood. We haven't done enough. Okay. What is like a harmless thing I could do? I mean... what fun is it if you don't just take risks? So, Yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this with... we're not gonna do the danger with these low values, but I'm gonna just do this. Neutral. You join a few spacers resting in the docks and pick up a few local tips. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm too scared to use the ones. I'm too scared. I'm disappointed that... We're just gonna end it. I don't want to use the ones. I'm too afraid. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphin leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes, and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette, silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphin inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? Tubes? Seraphin rolls his eyes, but you see the hint of a smile. Thanks, genius. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. And before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We are lucky that the reserve tank is empty, otherwise... He shakes his head. Would have been bad. But he pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it. Seraphin sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphin whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. We'll need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So, how about you try to track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, the factory row is the place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Okay, I'll take a look. Seraphin keeps working. Oh, wait. Seraphin pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. Shit. You said it, Seraphin sighs. Which is why we need those feed lines. I'm gonna try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave this engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphin's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. Take a deep breath and head out. Okay. You've discovered a drive. Oh, up here. Drives help you track and choose your objectives. The arrow button opens the drive menu. Okay, then you can track it. Major and minor drives. Completion of a major drive rewards 2 upgrade points. Minor rewards 1. Okay, so they do have kind of side quests then. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available. Okay, let's see this. Active. Escape the Hexport. Okay, that. And... no completed. Okay, great. So, we need to find a ship fitter. Gotcha. Okay, let us go. Wait, what was that? Wait a second. I saw something glowing. What's this? Ah, so once we get the feed lines. Okay, gotcha. And that goes there. So the factory... what did he say? This? Factory row. Okay. So I'm kind of okay into it. It's risky. What happens if I just use it too? No. Maybe not. Okay, we'll use a 5. Yeah, that's okay. Let's search the row. You joust a little around scrap contracts, and the factory owners respond well to the haggling, eager to meet your challenges. Ooh, okay. And so there's a clock going here for the ship fitter, so I'll just go ahead and do this again. Great. You have a little trust with the factories, now the trick is to not waste it. Okay, great. Factory row howls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there's energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It's familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way, because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row, you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them. Tubes just like those Seraphim had waved in your face. The feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit, marked Karsten Supply, in block capitals cut from hull plate. They're almost an angled shelf of oversized ship components in the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench. Hunched over, concentrating, it seems he doesn't notice you enter. Hello? A sharp eye glints as the figure looks over his shoulder. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines, how much? There's a sharp clink as Karsten places his tools and the component against a magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on the cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features do not betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those, for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs then? He sounds out the letters in a way you don't understand as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. That's right. Karsten nods. Always good to see one of those still running. Look, Karsten drifts over to where you are standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, he continues in a distinctive monotone, let's say a few hundred cryo on clean chits. She shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. 400? 400, Karsten says back, repeating your question without the emphasis. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they're worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. Karsten nods sagely. There's a little favor I need a crew for. Well, you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old. Pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. He shrugs. And not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship. So it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. He smiles. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships had a data core. While I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on the damn thing, I do care about the hardware. So,
I was to find you back here with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete. Well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines.
Karsten pauses, sniffs at the air again.
You just need the coordinates.
Simple as that?
Simple as that,
He repeats in his monotone way.
So, you interested?
He glances back at his workbench.
So I'm a busy man.
I'll do it.
Alright then.
He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Karsten pulls you closer, squeezing your arm.
Let's keep this one between us, alright?
He half smiles, his face huge and close.
It's our deal.
Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm.
Those coordinates.
Then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air, Karsten having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach, and the cacophony of Factory Row in your ears. A contract. Seraphin might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be your route out. You think of leaving this place behind, in possession of an improved ship too. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide as she clearly just came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using your shoulder. Sorry, she smiles, a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flicker around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Karsten, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Okay? Yeah. She grins. Okay, cool. So, she looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship? You can tell me when you're ready to go? I'm not sure. She looks nervous. Sure. I mean, you aren't sure when you're leaving? Yeah. Oh, that's okay. I can wait. She pauses. It's okay. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, she calls back as an afterthought.
What about the ship?
Oh, I'll find it, she calls back, then disappears down the passage.
You watch her go, glad of the contract, but nervous too. Will Karsten keep up his side of the bargain if you deliver?
Oh, snap!
I don't know about this sleeper. Seraphin looks nervously out of the rig's windows as you finish explaining Karsten's deal, as well as Junie's offer of help. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars. And there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head.
What choice do we have?
What if, Seraphin narrows his eyes, we could get the cryo together to buy the feed lines?
Is that even possible?
Found a contract board at the exchange further in station. He gestures towards Hexport. Take on a job? That might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten's job, a bit of money to get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, be ready for whatever comes.
I'll take a look.
Good, Seraphin nods. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew too. Seraphin shrugs. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around, take Karsten's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seraphin yawns. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, still got some work to do on the drive. Seraphin nods farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. Oh no, we have to why can't we just do both? For a moment you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift as if some
connection is broken. It's almost impossible to describe, like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in your brain, or in the pain. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. Then another shift comes, and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain, a disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation you'll have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. You could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now, it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. Work to do? On 3 twos? Unlocked a contract, open the map. Okay. Over there. High risk, high reward. And we go with our crew. We need to, okay, we gotta prepare fuel, supplies, crew, and then figure out if they have the skills or resistances that will help you. Okay, cool. That's fun. I don't know. We have 2s. I don't think it's gonna be great for right now. Okay, let's look at the new stuff. Signal you buy the contract? Oh, but you get that much. So you invest a bit to get some. Oh, man. Data diffusal shift. Okay, this is for monies. If we get raw scrap, we can sell it. Okay. I have 2s, though. And here's the options we've got. Well, oh, right. I keep forgetting that this is to trade money for things. Man, the export connections are... That's a big clock. I'm so indecisive about this. We have 17 cryo. Why don't I just do basic work? Let's just do this. Oh, God. Let's do it. Ouch. You spend a long time trying to break the ice around a old Solheim core, but in the end it just fries itself. Oops. Okay, let's try again. Oh, it's for 7 cryo? Oh, that is... We are not getting to 400 with that. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, we only have 1 more. I think what I could do is just use it to patch myself up. This. Recovery. I didn't recover? Oh. Well, that's the day. And so you can see the tension that I was talking about earlier with the dice. It's just... Some days are... Oh, okay, that's much better. I'm not happy about this 1, but that's much better. Okay. I could use some food. Do I dare use 1 supply? Ugh. Let's just use cryo. Let's go get something to eat. Yeah, here we go. And why is eating expensive?
This is too real. Don't look at my grocery bill. Okay. Well, I'm not really jazzed about making 7 cryo here. So I'm guessing that we should probably get that contract for my last bit of... Let's do it. Alright. So we can look at the map. This is the new one. Conway signal. Alright, that's the one. Risky. We don't have enough fuel. Oh my god. Is there a time limit on this? I think there is. Let's see. We need fuel and more supplies. Oh my god. So we can't even complete the contract without getting some of this other stuff. How much are... So I do have to make some side money in the meantime. Okay, I have some good dice. Let me just try and make some progress on this. Great. Great. Just the one? Please, 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 please. Yeah! Great! Oh! As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation, drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab at the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks. But then again, Seraphin told you to keep your head down. Oh, these are not great. I'm gonna wait. You slip back from the alley entrance a little, pressing yourself against the wall. This is not your fight. You look around to see if anyone might be coming, but most of the spacers are near the docks. You hear a shout and a series of impacts, and you turn back to the alley to see figures gliding straight down and towards you. You pull back as they shoot out and disperse into the crowd, a bag in one of their hands. Moments later, an imposing figure follows them out, stopping at the threshold to try to spot where the assailants went. He turns to you, suddenly spotting you lurking by the wall. You see those scumbags? The man shakes his head. Bunch of cowards. They head into the docks. He squints at you a little, perhaps noticing you're a sleeper. New here? Why? Just arrived. The man laughs. He jabs a thumb over his shoulder at the alley. Welcome to Hexport. The man pauses. I've gotta ask. You didn't have anything to do with those guys back there, did you? He gestures to the alley. No. Alright. He shrugs. Had to ask. The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags he pushes it towards you. Here, make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you're following. Then he stops at a docking bridge connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out the viewing window at its old catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from 2 separate hulls welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Femi, you bringing in strays? The young woman, brightly dressed and stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Well, Nia, if you'd come to help, I wouldn't need to find a porter. He glances at you. No offense. Nia sighs. What are you on about? She glances at you. I'm sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glance. For whatever he did. Nia, Femi murmurs. Enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. Gonna load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. Sleeper, he shoots you a look. Take my advice? Stop hanging around the docks like a stray. He slaps the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the cymbal crash. Nia eyes you nervously.
Did my brother promise you payment?
I'm sorry, we don't have much to give. Nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
She glances around awkwardly.
Did
Nia pauses.
something happen?
Your brother was attacked. Nia's eyes flash.
Really?
Nia shakes her head.
My brother does have a habit of getting into trouble.
It wasn't his fault.
She raises an eyebrow. Are you sure about that?
Things have been a little difficult, she sighs.
Sleeper, can I ask you something?
Sure. She takes a deep breath and gives you a direct look. What is she building up to?
Are you looking for crew?
She looks away.
Sorry to be direct, but you seem like, well, if you're on Hexport, maybe you are with the crew.
She stops herself.
I mean, maybe your crew needs a crew. Maybe you're looking?
I am.
She struggles to hide her smile.
Nia looks back at the ship, then at you.
Look, I'll be honest. Bringing on a crew, or being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he's suffocating me.
She frowns at her own bluntness.
I'm not a kid anymore, you know? But he still sees me like one, she shrugs. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts.
She gives you a determined look.
What do you say?
I'm not sure.
I'm a good salvager, all right. You can use me, she smiles. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in.
She folds her arms across her chest.
I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well.
She glances back at the ship.
Just consider it, all right? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage.
Femi. He makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction.
I should go.
She pushes off towards the docking bridge.
I'll be waiting.
Nia gives you one last glance as she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage.
Ooh, crew!
What's this? Freight loading. Oh, I'm not very good at that. I also have a 1. So maybe I just... Wait, I just saw something new. This food thing. This. Play Star... Oh! It's like a gambling thing? Yeah, we're not gonna gamble with the 1. We're definitely not gonna gamble with the 1. What do I look at? What's the engine? I thought we can look at crew here. Make a meal. Okay. Maybe you look at your crew, like, later? Source supplies. Oh, you can assign stuff to your crew. Scavenge fuel. Okay. Okay, I think the fuel. Yeah. Okay, this is good. This is good. Mixed bag on the dice today. Let's go. Alright, I need more money. How do I have still 6 money? Okay, we need to get everything. So I guess we'll just do some ships here? Yeah. $10 cryo? Not bad. Okay. Let's get what we can here. Need fuel. Alright, and then supplies. Oh, that's 45? Oh, wait. Oh, for filling it up the whole way. Okay, well, let's do that. Let me do another shift. Okay. This might not be very good. Okay, that was not bad. Okay. Okay, we just just need one more. I'm not gonna do anything with this one. I could just see if I could rest up. Let's see. Nope. Alright. That's that. Yeah. Okay, so jobs, cryo. Okay, there we go. It's tough out here. And time's running. Oh, nice. It's not bad. Okay. Let's do one more shift here. Great. And then grab this. Alright, and let's do that. This one. Okay, I think this works. I don't know. Oh, look at that. That's cool. It's a drone. Seraphim spots the signal source first, the light barely shimmering off its dark hull plating. A design trait that betrays its covert use. A flash catches your attention and you see a rent in the hull, through which red lights pulse. Wounded, Seraphim shakes his head. Wish they'd finished the job. I'm just gonna stay silent. Seraphim looks back over his shoulder towards you. Hate these things. He looks at the drone. Lane had us work on one in the dark side bay. There was barely a shell, disarmed and deactivated. He had us searching through its guts for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and it had its core ripped out. He pushes the ship closer. This one's still alive. Conway, Nia kisses her teeth. Corporate scum. You glance over at her and see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. She shakes her head. Typical core-bred cowards. Ran into them before? She glances at you. You might say that? She looks out at the drone. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Seraphim carefully guides the ship closer. You watch the drone. The system is full of these things now, running missions for their operators. Rare to see one out the belt, though. Maybe got hit during a run-in with Senestat mercs. Looks like it's drifting. Most of the system's blown out, but look here. Or look there. He jabs a finger towards a red light on the far side of the drone. It's still broadcasting. Maybe even receiving. How do we shut it off? Seraphim brings you ever closer. What I remember from the dark side job is that the central core and the broadcast array need to be shut off to kill these things. The core will turn off local systems. The broadcast array will sever the link with the Conway operators. Seraphim swallows, but you can bet those systems are protected. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. This thing is rigged to blow, Sleeper, he frowns. We go slow and careful, and we don't touch anything we don't know about. He turns back to Nia. You hear that? I got you. She looks sincere. Seraphim brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head down to the airlock to prepare. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system, the war that this drone was driven from. Out here on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the system might, one cycle, bring the war with it. For now, the belt is outside of its reach, but looking out at its red pulsing drone, that doesn't give you much comfort. Okay, first contract. You'll be able to assign 2 dice for each crew member. Use their skills effectively. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. Okay, and then if they're full on stress, you'll never be able to use them. Your energy bar will automatically supplied. For each cycle, you have available supplies. When your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. And contracts have their own contract stress. Okay. Oh my god. What the? Look at this. That's a big clock. Okay, what am I good at? Good at this. Okay. What are y'all good at? Oh, green. Okay. Mia has a 1. That's bad. I'm the only one that can do this one. That's not great. So we only have Seraphin's and mine. Oh man, let's try it. Whew. And then there's me with the 3. Ah, shoot. Drone stress. Shoot. Use push? Huh. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. +1 stress, reroll 1 lowest dice. Okay. That's all I got. What do we do then? Just go rest at the rig? Okay. Man, it's a multi-day contract? That's redonka-donk! Okay, do this again. Oh my god, we have... Oh god. Time is running out. I don't like that. This is like all me. Great. You hear the bleeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the drone's interior, something has started counting down. Guys? Nia's voice comes hissing through the suit's comm channel. Does anyone else hear that? Cause I'm getting nervous. Shit. Seraphin's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. Are we screwed? It can't be sure. Seraphin has dropped his voice to a whisper as if that might make a difference. Either this thing is about to send out a distress call or it's about to blow. We gotta shut the system down fast. Then we moved on to the other side because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there too. We good? Nia sounds tense. Am I heading back to the ship or what? Seraphin cuts in. We're good. We keep going. He shuts off the channel. You take a moment in the silence. Alright. Time to deal with this fast. Get over the other side before something happens. Oh no, what the heck? Ah! Why? No! What is happening? Core disabled. Does it stop it from ever restarting and causing it? Oh my god. Oh god. Okay, great. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. No, why is this happening to me? Us. Ugh. Okay. I'm not working with the 2. Oh no! Why can't I? Ah! Well, I could try this. God. Great, 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 great. We gotta do it twice? What? Disable the core, shut down the... Oh my god. Oh no, we gotta do the other one. That's what this means, I think. Countermeasure. Oh my word. Oh my word. Oh my word. We've got a plus on this. Let's try, let's try, let's try. Oh, my stress. The stress. Okay, a 2 and a 3. What am I gonna do with that? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try it. Oh! I got stress. Damage to action dice? No! It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, we gotta rest. Okay. I don't like it. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? For 200 cryo credits. Whew. Okay. Wait. Whew. Okay, this is me. Ooh, did we do it? The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone grows still for the first time since you boarded it. You look across at Seraphine and Nia and share a smile. You all exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of convoy shit to worry about, Nia grins. We killed it. Don't get too excited, Seraphine cuts in. It was looking pretty rough when we got here. You make your way back out to the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction, its stabilizers offline. Nia catches up with you as you glide towards the rig. We make a pretty good crew, Sleeper. We do. Nia grins widely. She punches you on the arm playfully. You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hull. It catches the light as it rolls in the vacuum. At some point in the near future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt. Spread across this place is twinkling dust. The thought pleases you. As does the thought of all that cryo export now owes you. Time to go collect. Yes! You can leave via the map. Okay. Leave. After docking at Hexport, Seraphine lets go the controls and leans back in his chair. Nia leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper, she stretches. I know you took a chance on me. Glad to have you. Nia smiles an infectious smile. Feels good to make a contract work, Seraphine smiles. No matter how we pull it off. It's hard not to agree. And it feels better when the Hexport courier comes with a lockbox full of chits. Lane may still be hunting you, but this should help the effort slip his net. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice. Nia! Femi glides into view, approaching from the docks. He fixes you with a stare. What are you playing at, Sleeper? Nia wanted to come. You go to speak, but Nia drifts forward, cutting you off. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I make my own decisions. She glances back at you. Sleeper took me at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? He turns to you. Well, if you're working for a sleeper, hope they paid you well.
Nia looks away. Well, I asked, so...
Femi smiles. So they aren't paying you?
Seraphin crosses his arms. Let's keep this civil. He realizes the first time he's meeting Femi.
If we're being civil, seems like Nia is owed her share.
Femi fixes you with a severe look. Okay, I'll pay you a share. You grab around a quarter of the chits from the lockbox and hold them out to Nia. She takes them sheepishly. All right, then. Femi smiles. We're good here. He turns to leave. Nia bows to sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Seraphin watches them go.
You sure know how to pick 'em, sleeper.
He shakes his head. He turns away and heads back along the docking bridge. Just hope we aren't going to end up a stack of cryo short when we need to get out of here. Well, I did the right thing. Oh, I got an upgrade point. Okay. Let's see. 2 points available. I do have push I can use. No damage on push reroll. Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do this one. Alright. Well, my dice aren't great. Do I really want to get another contract? Oh, it's empty. Huh. So then all that's left is the odd jobs. What's this? I'm not good at that. I could gamble. I guess it's odd jobs then. I don't have anything to do with 3 1s. There's no way. Let's just fill up on fuel. And then... there you go. We're all filled up. 130 is still not 400. No siree. So I think that's all we got today. Yeah. Some days you just don't have enough. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the big draw of this game for me, is that some days you literally only have energy for 2 meaningful tasks. Is there a new thing here? No. Ugh. So we really have to go out and do that? Am I really, like, we're halfway through. Like, how am I supposed to... I think I have to go in that contract. God dang it. We don't have the crew anymore, though. Danger. Oh, we do have this. Okay, let's do it. I don't think we can make enough money. The Solheim derelict fills the cockpit windows, all twisted plates and skeletal strutwork. You watched it in horror and fascination as Seraphin completed the approach, both of you silent in the presence of this decaying beast. Now, as you settle beside it, Seraphin is the first to break the silence. This thing's already dead, he shakes his head. It's a corpse, sleeper. He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. I touch this thing too hard, it'll crumble into dust. Let's not do that. Seraphin does a little mock salute. Aye, aye. He rolls his eyes. Any other tips? Take us up there. That's the bridge. Junie points towards one end of the ship, and both you and Seraphin turn around, having forgotten she was even in the cockpit. She hasn't said a word since you departed. She glances at both of your bemused faces. What?
She looks away.
Sorry, that's where we need to go.
She stops pointing. Seraphin nods towards Junie. She's not wrong, Sleeper. The bridge would be a good start.
To the bridge, then.
Seraphin nods and brings the ship under control. Let's do it. Seraphin takes control of the ship, avoiding the debris field closer to the center of the wreck. He settles in position near a protrusion at the far end. This is as far as it'll go. Seraphin taps at the anchoring controls. We should be able to anchor the ship to those plates. You hear Junie begin to protest from behind you, but it's too late. Seraphin fires 2 python-tipped anchor lines at the nearest solid hull plates. The pythons slam into the plates and, despite their solid appearance, they instantly shatter. The fragments spin out across the wreck, slicing into other plates and building a spiraling storm of debris. Shit! Seraphin nudges the ship back and studies it as the debris cascades across the surface of the wreck. The damage seems mostly superficial, but it underlines just how fragile the derelict is.
Let's not do that again.
Junie glances between the two of you.
The data core will be very fragile. We have to...
We've got it, Seraphin snaps. He angrily unclips from his seat. Last thing I need is a backseat driver. He kicks off and glides past her into the corridor. Sorry, Junie.
No problem. She smiles a weak smile. We all want the same thing here, right? We'll work it out.
You follow Seraphin down the passage with Junie close behind. As you reach the airlock, he's already angrily suiting up, his frustration evident.
Keep your cool.
Seraphin looks up. Yeah. He glances at Junie. No hard feelings, right? He checks the seals on his shoulders. But this is a job, not a social event. The rest of the preparation process takes place in intense silence, each of you considering the delicate job ahead. You suit up too. Though you don't need a helmet to breathe, you slide one on and lock the seals for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core should be near the bridge, maybe even inside it, but there's a lot of wreck here. There might be good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on and the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out at the vast expanse of the twisted hulk before you. Time to go to work. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, Junie's dice. I am not jazzed about Junie's dice right now. But let's see what the... Oh my god. There's an event every 3? Stress? What the hell? Alright, who's good at what? I'm not good at this. Let's see this. I'm not good at the... Okay, who's... Is this just bad? Nobody has a plus in any of this. So we're simply here for the neutral. Great. Alright, well, let's do this. Great. Good. Nice. Oh, I'm good at this. Oh, and so is Junie. Okay. Great. Okay. Nice. Oh my god, how many steps? Okay. We don't have this yet. Okay, so let's look at the other one. Oh, for real? I think we're out for today. I don't see us making any progress with Junie's 3 and minus modifiers. Let me just see if I could. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm not jazzed. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Me or Seraphin on the force lock. Let's try me first. Okay. Oh god! Crisis? Oh no! Where's the crisis? Oh god! Derelict's hull is falling apart. Oh no! Oh god, why? Oh no! No. We shoot. Can I just... Okay. No. We can't afford more stress on that. Okay, Junie can't do this. Can you? Oh no, it's the same. It's the same as my 3. For real? That... Oh my god. Not this. Oh god. I don't want to waste these dice. But it's like... Oh man, Junie and Seraphin aren't really great at this. I'm gonna risk it. Oh no! Oh no! Okay. Oh, great. No, Junie can't do that. Junie can't do this! Junie! Oh god, no! Junie, why? Junie, what are you here for? Like... Well, what do you... What's your deal? Like, look at this. Like, what... You're just gonna go to sleep having done nothing. God. Neutral to negative. See, I just... No, we... Dare I push? I'm not good at that either, though. I could push for this. You know what? No, we're just... It's just bad. We're just gonna... I hate that. Oh my word, why? This is... I'm not jazzed about this crisis. Seraphin's out. I mean, that's not necessary. That's just more side extra stuff, so... Let's push. What? A 2? Nope, that's it. I don't see how we do. I'm like, should I have gotten more crew? Like, what the heck? What's this? Oh god. Everything's falling apart. The bridge of the derelict lies silent.
The pale beams of your suit lamps catch rows of terminals in clouds of glittering dust. Wires wave like seaweed, and the whole scene appears as if underwater. Chaotic, but still. Junie glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you by surprise as she does. She's been a stoic presence so far, but in this moment, she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch as she bats away debris and begins checking terminals. I'll just let her work. She's already prying an access panel off one of the more intact-looking terminals, and as she does, puffs of rust color the vacuum around her red. Huh. She turns back to the terminal and finishes prying off the plate. Then, quickly she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hand comes back out with a waving cable topped with a thick connector. As soon as she sees it, she slips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and slots in the connector. All this happens in a few seconds, the routine practiced and precise. It's hard not to be impressed. I'm just gonna keep letting her work. Junie's fingers dance across the deck's keyboard, and a burst of static lights up the Solheim terminal screen. The sudden burst of light and color takes you by surprise. Junie's fingers tap away, the terminal screen flashing with blocks of color and lines of code. It buzzes and vibrates, its long dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then all at once, it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit! Junie hisses beneath her breath. Useless. You cannot tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. What are you doing? She looks up at you as if she was just waking from a dream. Looking for something useful, she pauses. Useful for the contract, that is. She glances down. A map of the ship, plans, you know. The cradle with the data core can't be far. She pushes off from the terminal, gliding away from you. I'll start looking, she calls back, and heads to the other side of the bridge. Seraphin glides up beside you. Thing all right? All good. Good. Seraphin claps you on the shoulder. Seraphin stretches in his suit. I have to admit, it's nice to be back working, especially now that we're the ones who will reap the benefits. He claps you on the shoulder. Feels good to be taking our fate into our own hands. I know it's pretty rough there back on Hexport. Out here, we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as find the damn data core, but aren't you glad we made a break for it? He pauses and looks down, having asked the question almost by accident. I mean, I am. I just don't want to speak for you. I'm glad too. Seraphin smiles. You better be. I didn't give up that little dark side cupboard I was living in for nothing. He laughs at his own joke. Look, Seraphin checks his suit's wrist seals. Once we get a bit of space behind us, once we've gone the distance, if we even manage to get that far, he furrows his brow. Don't feel you owe me. I'm no charity case. You want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. He meets your eyes. Just do me the favor of telling me to my face. That won't happen. Seraphin nods, but doesn't respond. After a moment, he shines his torch out into the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You watch the glittering dust as it eddies in the beam. Seraphin sighs. Let's get to it. You watch as he crosses the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners. You feel a chill run through your body as you imagine the people that once ran this ship, the Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like here before the collapse, when the system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. That history is lost to you now. All you can do is pick up what you can from the ruins. Okay. More? I'm so tired. What is this? Okay. I'm kind of good at this. Oh no, that's not great. I think that's all that can be done here. What about these crises? This is not great. I don't like my chances, so we'll just go back.
Everything is so high risk. I feel like... Oh my god. Oh, finally! These are good. These are good rolls, my friends. We can't let it keep decaying. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, let's just... Okay. Oh man. Almost there, almost there. Wait, could I... Should I risk it? No, but we're like one away from another crisis. I don't like that. How do I resolve this? With the 3? There's no way. I think we just have to eat it. Only have 1 supply left. While starving? Oh my god. We don't have any supplies to make a meal. Ah! You can't rest? Oh my god. We're starving. Oh no. Oh god. Why are the... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. I hate it here. This is, yeah, this is bad. Can't make any mistake. Nope, that's not enough. I feel like I'm screwed. We're not good at this. Nobody's good at anything right now. Everything is done. We can't do anything with this. Any more supplies. We're just gonna keep starving. Oh god. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if you take damage or not. Oh no. Which damage? Oh, I see the dice. The dice have bars now. Oh my god. Oh no! What? Oh god! We only have 1 cycle? Oh, this is so bad. We gotta do this fast. We gotta get out of here. Oh no! Why is this the... Oh god. This is just... Okay, what are you... Can you contribute to this at all? God. No, you can't. You could do this. I mean... Oh, it's just... Oh. Okay. Great. I mean, whatever. This is not happening. Nope. We're stressed. We're just gonna keep getting stressed and starve. And there's a horrifying lurch. You're spinning through the bay. You were crossing in a hail of debris. You watch as the side of the bay silently tears open in front of you, a gaping black maw toothed with flying debris. You stare into it, your breath heavy in your ears, your eyes wide. Suddenly, you feel a tug on your back. You're tethered. As you spin back from the sudden arrest of your glide, you see Seraphin holding onto the other end, reeling you towards him. We have to go, Sleeper. His voice comes urgently over the comms channel. This place is done. You both make your way up through the splitting derelict in silence, charting a path through what were once passages but are now twisted tubes, like the intestinal tract of some dead creature. Eventually, you make it out onto the surface and find the rig still tethered but gashed with debris and scars. You and Seraphin exchange concerned glances. We're going to pay for this. He looks over the damage. Let's hope she still flies. You tether together and push off from the hull, Seraphin guiding you through the debris. Below you, the derelict is exploding in slow motion, tearing apart into a swarm of razor-edged shards. All this and no core, Seraphin fumes. Now the rig's torn up too. You don't have much to offer an answer. He's right. Seems the job was a disaster. You just hope it wasn't terminal. It's gone. Junie's voice comes through faintly over the comms. She must already be on the ship. The whole ship is falling apart. No shit, Seraphin answers back. Contract's a bust. What a waste, Junie says quietly, and then the channel clicks off. You arrive at the rig's airlock and bundle yourself inside, noticing the exterior damage. It looks mostly superficial, but it will no doubt take its toll on the ship. Once you're back in the cockpit, you look out at the derelict's shattered form. It seems you'll be its last visitors. I can't believe that. Is this like, was it supposed to be doable? I mean, can you, it only auto saves, like you can't save scum. So I think I literally have to leave. I'm so screwed. So you arrive into Hexport. Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. I need to speak to both of you. On the journey back, you notice a change in Junie, a hardening, and now she seems very different from the nervous hacker you first brought with you. I know we failed to extract the core. Junie sighs, and I wanted to be honest with you about why I came to you. I don't work for Karsten. Perhaps that was obvious. I didn't want to bring him to the core. You and Seraphin exchange glances. You lied? Yes, she looks away. I know I shouldn't have done that, but if I had explained on Hexport, would you have taken me? I wanted a chance to show my worth before I came to you. Do you know how many of those cores are left intact? Junie suddenly looks gripped by emotion. Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow, in their ruins, and yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here when others like them, like Senatstad and Conway, are descending on the system? The station and most of the other habitats of the belt are built on a Solheim foundation, she frowns. Yet we are too busy scavenging them to take the time to look for answers. Men like Karsten want nothing but the raw materials of cores like the one we lost. She shakes her head. We can do better. We can learn our history and how this system was settled. We could better learn the technology we build our lives on. We could uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make amends. She meets your eye. We could see beyond survival, towards something else. You never heard Junie speak like this, and you realize what you have taken for nervousness was actually control. This, the person in front of you, mourning a data core, is the real Junie. Not that it matters, she glances away. It's all lost now. Keep your honesty, Seraphin cuts in. It's worthless to us. He completes the landing protocols and begins shutting the rig's engines off. We don't have time for confessions. Junie looks crestfallen. Karsten will come for you if that's what you're worried about. He's ignorant and stubborn, but he's vengeful. That's not what we're worried about. Seraphin gives her a pointed look. You tell Junie about the feed lines Karsten has, about you and Seraphin fleeing something. You can't run any further without them. Junie nods along, her eyes darting back and forth as if trying to calculate something in her mind. Seraphin turns to you. If you have any bright ideas on how to get those feed lines, now would be the time, Sleeper.
There's another way, Junie interrupts. I could help you steal the feed lines.
She stares at both of you with determination.
We could do it together.
Seraphin looks at you with raised eyebrows. It seems he's noticing the change in Junie, too.
Karsten's an idiot. I can hack his security and he can pull them out of there.
She looks at Seraphin.
You seem tough?
She shrugs.
We can do it.
Seriously? Junie gives you the kind of withering expression you wouldn't have thought her capable of several cycles ago.
Seriously.
Junie looks between the two of you.
Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Karsten is probably ripping you off. Even if you get enough cryo, what's to say you won't raise the price? Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles.
She just shakes her head. Seraphin is watching her closely. Even if I do take you at your word, which, given everything, seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raises his eyebrow. You're telling me we just drift in there and take the feed lines?
Look, I get it. You don't trust me. She pauses. What if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't feel like hanging around waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in all this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it.
She allows herself a smile.
See where I'm going with this?
Seraphin sighs. I don't like it. He pauses. But it does make sense. What do you think, Sleeper?
We all get something. Exactly.
Junie smiles.
Let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work out a plan.
She glances between the two of you.
Trust me, we can find a way. We'll keep it simple. Clean.
Simple's good. Agreed. Seraphin cuts in. His dark look betrays his concerns.
I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Karsten to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up.
Junie unclips from her seat, floating.
I want to show you I can be trusted. That we can do this.
She looks between the two of you.
Believe that. Please.
And with that, she slips away down the passage, towards the airlock and Hexport and beyond. You look at Seraphin. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. He unclips from his seat, too. Either this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get out the other side, or it's the kind that you never escape. Either way, we're in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic lights of Hexport and wonder if anything in the Starward Belt ever runs smoothly. Seraphin wakes you gently. Sleeper, we're out of time. He checks the door to the bunks, and you hear a faint banging in the corridor beyond. He turns back and meets your eye. They're here. What? What do you mean they're here?
Lane caught up to you at the Hexport.
Oh my god, why? We have to go. Quiet. Seraphin holds up a finger. Why do you think I'm waking you up? They've locked the ship into the station, Seraphin grimaces. We can't release the docking bridge. Our credentials are being refused. We're trapped. A sudden banging echoes through the ship. Seraphin looks away towards the source of the sound. I don't know if they know we're here, but they certainly want to get in. He shakes his head. I reckon we have minutes before they get out the cutting torch.
What do we do?
The feed lines are a bust. They aren't going to happen now. Our best chance is to burn out of here as fast as we can and hope our drift takes us to a station when we run out of fuel, he sighs. At least we might live a few more cycles before we starve. Problem is, we need to release the lock Hexport has on us. Otherwise, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphin looks down, and I need to pilot the ship. So, what I'm saying is, I have to release the lock? Exactly. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He gives you a dark look. There are some big manual release levers inside the docking bridge itself. But to get them, you're going to have to go out through the airlock. He swallows hard. Once you do that, you'll need to get back in as the docking bridge releases, he grimaces. If you mess it up, you're likely to be sent spinning into the black. That's our only choice? Apart from coming out with our hands on our heads? Yeah, that's our only choice. You nod. There's nothing else to be said. Time's up, and this is what it's come down to. I'll be at the controls waiting. Seraphim gives you a nervous look. The moment you're back in the airlock, I'll burn hard. He clasps you by both your shoulders and looks you in the eye. Then, without saying anything, he releases you and glides out of the room. You drift down to the airlock as quickly and as quietly as you can, slipping into a suit for protection. At least, you think as you secure the seals you don't need to breathe. The banging subsides and you hope the hunters have left, even though you know this is only the quiet before the storm. You take a moment, waiting inside the airlock as it cycles. The second the exterior door begins to open, you go. As you dash out of the airlock, the scene in front of you appears as if in slow motion. You see two figures a little way down the docking bridge wearing dark spacesuits, a canister being carried between them. Meanwhile, floating between you and them is a heavy-duty cutting torch, knocked spinning by the opening airlock door. You see the release levers in the yellow hazard stripe just beyond the hunters. You know you're lucky, and you know you only have one moment to make your move. Okay, rush. God. You shift a position, trying to aim for one lever before kicking off hard and stretching out, making yourself as small a target as possible. The two hunters try to grab you as you pass, but you spin away from them, struggling through their reaching arms. As you do, you reach out to the lever, stretching your fingertips to wrap around its end. You clasp the head of the lever, and the momentum wrenches it out of its housing, the whole bridge rumbling and twisting as one side comes loose. As you kick off to the other side and use all your force to pull the other lever open, you feel the fizz of the projectiles slicing through the air around you. The hunters are firing. A scream blocks out all sound, and you feel an urgent pull tugging you away from the ship. The tunnel bends sickeningly and then comes apart. You're close enough to the ship that you manage to kick back, away from the twisting storm of debris that the tunnel becomes. You see the dark suits of the hunters among it, retreating towards the station-side airlock. But as they do, a hail of projectiles slices across the void from their direction. You have no time to react. You're carried backward by the hunters' stun rounds, their impact shutting off whole sections of your frame. Oh, I lost a dice? Oh my god. You spin towards the open airlock. Your vision flashes with warning sigils and you feel a distant throbbing pain. The final faint things you feel before you lose consciousness are the impact of your body against the interior wall of the airlock, the hiss of the cycling system, and the heavy weight of the ship in full burn. Oh my god! This is awful! Did I lose the game? What the... Seraphin's quiet question wakes you from your haze as the rig cuts across the belt. You try to move and feel a wave of flickering pain pass through your body. You flinch and steady your nerves. You find yourself strapped into a seat in the cockpit. Seraphin doesn't seem to have noticed you're awake. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. There's a crackle of noise that echoes through the ship's comms. Seraphin is glancing nervously at his console. Something has him spooked. Sleeper. The voice, as distorted as it is, cuts through you. Lane. I know you're there. A hissing pause. You're slipping away. A squawk of noise. But we can't have that. You don't understand why Seraphin isn't reacting to the sound of Lane's voice. Then you realize he can't hear it. The voice is in your head. I take this personally, Sleeper. A sharp intake of breath. After all my investment, all my care expended upon you, this is how you repay me. I see a little something glinting out there. Could that be you? You don't move. You don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Something shifts in you, a sudden impetus, a will to move that is not your own. You unclip your restraint, drifting forward towards Seraphin. Seraphin looks over his shoulder and sees you. You're up. He looks surprised. Take it slow, all right? There's a transmission coming out of Hexport, some kind of evac order? He turns back to his console. Let me check this. You keep moving forward. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness grows in your body, your fingers flexing without your input. You reach out towards Seraphin. No, not you. Something reaches out to Seraphin through you. He turns again to see you reaching for him, grasping at his neck. A tension flickers in his eyes. Fear. A hissing silence, then a rumbling blast. All at once the rig screams, system seizing in electromagnetic paralysis. All at once the rig shifts, carried on some shockwave of light. Pain, then darkness. Did I lose? What is happening? Echoes, what the... Voices echo warmly through your mind. You can't quite make out what's being said, and any attempt to focus causes a growing flare of pain, so you let them fill the air, unidentifiable and soft. You're floating, and so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. The feeling is pleasant, soothing, and at the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Pain shoots through your system, a reminder of the terrible damage you've suffered. It is bright, white, hot for a moment, and then it's gone. Something spasms in your fingers and you flick it away. A sensation crosses the sole of your foot and you kick your leg. A weight settles itself in your chest. You're awake. You open your eyes to light playing across the surface patterned with stained cushioning. You're alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You're alone, and this is not your ship. You jerk upwards against the straps that hold you loosely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last things you remember. An overwhelming numbness, and below it an insipid, animating force creeping through your mind. You pull at the straps and free yourself, floating up into the small habitation room, cushioned and worn, your mind racing. Where is this? You glance around, taking in the small room with its knickknacks tucked behind webbing, its stained and worn storage units, its faded padding. This is someone's home. Cold light fills the room, and you float over the dark square of the window. You see stars, the bright pinpricks of drive trails, and skeletal docking bridges. This is a station. A sudden hiss draws your attention to the door, which slides open with a puff of equalizing pressure. The entering figure jumps up as they see you're awake. You're up. They hesitate in the doorway. Where's Seraphin? Your friend, right? They laugh nervously. I'm not really sure. He headed out a while ago? I'm Bliss. They shrug. Not sure of what to add. Your friend Seraphin is out. Sorry, he brought you here. Here? Right. They nod slowly. This is my room. They glance around. Not much I know. We're in my repair bay on the far spindle, if you know where that is. How did I get here? They look around the room again. Come on, let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. They hold out a hand. You're safe. Don't worry. You follow them out into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with the ease of someone who was either born in zero-G or has spent most of their life in it. They guide you to an enclosed balcony where heavily scratched, thick acrylic windows look out into a chaotic-looking wet dock. At the center of the dock is the rig, scratched and worn, but still your ship. It's a reassuring sight. So what happened? Your ship, Bliss pauses. You were lucky I heard your distress signal. You sense they're holding something back. I guess that expensive long-range array was tricked into buying something... Or I was tricked into buying some... Oh my goodness. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laughed to themselves. Well, at least for someone. You were out cold when I got there, and have been for all the cycles since. Your friend wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I make a habit of doing that. Seraphin's voice makes you spin around. Good to see you up. He can't suppress a smile. Glad to be back. He nods. Your eyes fall into Seraphin's bandaged abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wounds. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen. Bliss abruptly stops after Seraphin glares in their direction. Here. Seraphin pulls a few chits out of his pocket. Catch. He slings them over to Bliss. That's all I could get for now. What are you paying them for? Seraphin laughs. Who do you think put the rig back together? Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like, but I'm sorry, I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. I get it. Seraphin nods. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. They turn to you. I'm glad you're awake. We were worried. They pat you on the shoulder. It's gone. He flinches. What do you mean, gone? It's gone. Gone. Seraphin catches your eye. Dropped off the map. No signals, apart from the ones sent from fleeing ships. He frowns. I don't know what happened. No one does. Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you've just been told. You think of the constant activity of the vents, the rumble of Factory Row. Karsten. Gone. By the time Bliss reached us, we had drifted out of range. They couldn't have seen it go up. But I saw a sleeper. Something exploded. White hot. He rubs his arms, suppressing a shiver. A moment later, the shockwave was on us. The rig was crippled. Engine kept firing, but guidance went offline, sending us arcing out across the belt. He drops a hand inside his jacket, pressing against the bandage on his side. I managed to get her under control, but not before we started spinning. My restraints came loose and we weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. He smiles a weak smile. Felt like being trapped in an auto wash. He turns back to you. I'm impressed you made it, to be honest. A flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. He goes silent, the image a little too raw for him to continue. I can't believe it. You and all the belts, Seraphin sighs. All anyone is seeing is debris and radiation. I picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe some people got out. He stops, unable to add more. You both float in silence for a moment. What now? Seraphinette laughs weakly. One step at a time. You in a rush? We already owe Bliss for the work they did on the rig, and it isn't finished yet. A few more cycles, I've been told. Bliss won't hold us hostage, but I don't like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started up. He rubs his necklace between his fingers. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need work, fuel, supplies, and we need to make sure you're okay. He counts off the issues on his fingers. After that, he shrugs. I haven't heard of anyone coming after us. If they did, they'd have to come through Hexport, or what's left of it. He looks away. The forest spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. They call this bit of the belt the Wash, and the stations here run differently to Darkside. So for now, we have some freedom. Seraphin sighs. Freedom to go broke, starve, get into even more trouble, that is. In all honesty, I was hoping you might have some ideas. He pats you on the shoulder. I want to explore this place. The forest spindle? There's plenty to see. It's a free station. No one faction holds control, so it's quite the circus. Just watch your step out there. Seraphin pauses and stares down. Look, sleeper. He rubs his side. I'm not sure I can work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. He looks away. Even with the pain meds I've been able to scare up. I can fly, that's for sure. He stares obstinately at the rig. But you're going to need some crew if you want to do any serious work. He chooses limp. I'm sorry. Don't be. Seraphin nods. Thanks, sleeper. He turns away. I'm gonna go take a rest on the rig. I'm wiped. You look out at the rig as he leaves, the warmth and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself, not Lane? Well, here it is, with all the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out Hexport just to try to end you? You shiver at the thought. But if not Lane, then who? Theories cloud your mind. I'm gonna push them away. Now is not the time for theories. You run your hands along your body, feeling the marks and holes left by the hunter's weapons. And you know in that moment you've been irreparably damaged by the encounter. You realize these scars are reminders. You will not be caught like that again. You swear it. You take a breath. Time to make a plan. Oh my word, I've gained some glitch. Your current level of glitch is represented by the glitch clock to the right of your dice. Oh my god. You can have a max of 6. Each level of glitch you gain will increase your chance of rolling a glitch dice. Each time you roll a glitch dice, you clear 1 level of glitch. Oh, okay. Glitch dice have an 80% chance of a negative outcome when used, and a 20%. Oh my god. Well, with that, I think we're good. Wait, what is the active? Explore Forest Spindle, find crew. What? I can't believe that. What the? We're so... Listen, I have no idea if any of that was like scripted failure. I mean, like, and this is why I almost immediately want to try another game, like another run, because I'm like, could it have been possible to get all that done? Like, could we have brought any of the old crew with us? Like, I have so many questions. But I loved the first couple hours of this game. I know normally when I do my first impressions I only do an hour, but because of all of the narrative here and just and I'm pretty sure I've seen some new mechanics in here that I never saw in Citizen Sleeper, which if you have played Citizen Sleeper, you can find some comfort in that it's not just, you know, the same mechanics as before. They've introduced a lot more sort of stakes and risks in this one. The fact that they've added even more ways to hinder your progress, I feel like in Citizen Sleeper 2 that my heart feels so heavy about all of my choices, and even more so than in the first game. It's not just clicking things and rolling dice. Like the contract where there were tasks that none of us were built to handle, that's very real. I mean, it's space, right? Like, so many things can go wrong in space. And you can have like the coolest, most talented crew, and there might be a problem that none of you can do very well, and you just kind of have to risk trying. That's definitely something I need to kind of adjust to in this game, is that I'm so used to waiting until I have good dice to work with for whatever action it is that I want to take. But for this, with all of the timers and the crises and the stress and the just everything is so constrained that you almost have to just try. Like, even if you have bad dice, it's kind of part of the experience to fail. And that's such a, you know, a strange thing to say out loud, because, like, at least for me, and I don't know about you, but big risks and a big chance of failure, but also the possibility of a reward. I don't do that very well. I like to, you know, go for the sure thing, for the less risky thing. But I think this game, with all the things that they've added in, encourages you to try and make things happen with very little. Because even going to the news station after all of that drama, it's still the same. I still need fuel. I still need supplies. I still need to feed myself, even when things are just falling apart. So I'm excited to see more of this. I'll be playing more of this on Twitch, so if you want to see more of, maybe I think I'm probably going to continue this current playthrough. I might try off stream or offline to do another. They have like 3 different spots, 3 different ways where you can simultaneously try out. Maybe a different class would have worked better. I think there might have been a bit of redundancy on one of the contracts. Who knows? I'm going to try it. But if you want to see more of this current playthrough, I will be playing it on Twitch. I believe on Saturday. So if I don't see you there, I hope you have a great rest of your week. If you're going to play Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector, have fun with it. Enjoy the stress. Enjoy the the tension. It's so good. And many thanks to the devs for sending us a key for this today. And again, this comes out January 31st. And I hope you enjoy your time with it. If you want to follow more indie games or any other kind of news, blogs, things like that, I will put the relevant links for me below so you can follow me and all the things. And of course, I will add some information below so you can follow the developer and the publisher and anything relating to Citizen Sleeper to your heart's content. So with that, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and I will see you next time for more indie games. And Small Molecule, by the way. Okay, see y'all later.